My name is Moon Petrie. This is Jasper. He's the best. And this is a query update. It has been a while, and everyone who says querying is a marathon and not a sprint, I mean, they're right if it's a marathon that goes on for like well over a year, which sounds grueling. Lots of breaks though, but yeah, so I wanted to update with something that happened that caused me to do a revision. So I received an interesting, it's like he always thought I would look better with a mustache or something. So I received an interesting and hopeful rejection. It had been a while since I had queried this agent, and this is an agent who requests that people send as an attachment the full manuscript with the query. This is unusual, but it's a reputable agency, so I wasn't concerned about it. So this was not the result of a full request, but it was the result of the agent having the full. So the rejection, I deeply appreciate the premise of the story and I think it holds great potential, but I'm afraid that I'm going to have to pass at this time. Those 3 words in bold. As I was reading, I found myself wishing there wasn't quite so much exposition at the beginning of the story and that we instead got pulled into the action of Aster's life. Aster is the protagonist, which would have helped me feel more connected to her. If you do choose to revise, I'd love to take another look, but if not, I wish you the best of luck in finding a good home for your work. Thank you again for thinking of me. So I did. I agreed with that feedback. I didn't have the sense, obviously, that the agent read the whole thing, but that the beginning is slow and has a lot of sort of internal stuff. And so I massively revised the first few chapters and made it so that it really jumps right into the action and the thought process, exposition, backstory stuff is broken up and sprinkled throughout the first few chapters of action, which also made it possible for me to put this really hard-hitting, gut-punchy, that what had been the end of the second chapter is now the end of the first chapter, and I am so pleased with it. And then after revising the beginning really heavily, I did go through the whole thing again. I didn't make a lot of changes throughout. There was some, in addition to like rearranging where the exposition landed, that required me to rearrange some of the timeline a little bit at the beginning. And so there was some like housekeeping on that. But I was really happy with it. And I sent that agent the full manuscript again. I did this as a reply to that email. I wrote my note about, appreciating their feedback and that I did choose to revise it on the basis of that, and that the full manuscript is attached, and so is the original query, and the original query was not attached. It was at the bottom of the email, but that is what I did, and that was like right after Thanksgiving that I sent it. So I do not expect to hear back anytime soon. But because it wasn't actually an R&R, I didn't have a lot of feedback for the manuscript as a whole. So it was a lot of work on the beginning. And I also, it's not exclusive. And so when I do send out more queries, I will have this fresh new beginning to be my 5 or 10 or whatever they request pages pasted into the query. So I'm happy about that. I'm glad I did it. Like, I kind of thought it would be better that way and was intimidated, and I kind of wish I had just done that sooner. But regardless, I sent that out. I'm not going to send any more queries until January because obviously everybody has enough on their plate. I know that I do. So that is where things stand with that one. I did get a rejection on a full from one of the 3 agents that had requested a full. So I still have 2 of those out. And this one who kind of requested a revised edition. So still having plenty of reason to be hopeful, and that is where I'm at. I hope that as the new year approaches that you are getting lots of furry snuggles or whatever brings you joy. And until next time, I am Moon Petrie, and Jasper is the love of my life.